For this demonstration, we're going to walk through how easy it is to process your non-PO invoices within Yoga for FSM. We see that we have our non-PO invoice in our AP mailbox. I'm going to go ahead and kick off our email connector job on the back end to ingest this invoice. One nice feature about the Yoga system is that along with bringing in the actual attachment within the email, we also generate an HTML record of what that original email looked like in case there's key features in there such as a PO number or updated approvals from your vendor. Those will also be available as a supporting documentation. Over to our Yoga for FSM environment, we're going to be processing out of our AP review queue. This is our primary processing queue within the Yoga system where your AP team will be working out of. We see that there's a lot of column headers at the top and a nice little scroll bar here at the bottom for us to find our invoices. If you need to search based off of a specific vendor, invoice number, or invoice type, those features are available and customizable per your tenant in the system. We'll go ahead and hit our refresh at the bottom of the page. And then we see by our time in queue, looks like our record came in about a minute ago. When we open this up, you're going to see over here on the left-hand side that we get a mock-up PDF of our original invoice attachment from our email. And then you'll see a supporting documentation tab that has a generated copy of that original invoice from our email connector. Over here on the right-hand side is going to be our e-form. We see up at the top that we have a system-generated reason code informing us that this record probably stopped within Yoga for FSM due to a missing routing category. So we'll go ahead and we'll scroll through our form and make sure everything extracted the way we would expect. Looks like we might have had a vendor that didn't properly extract in the system. There's a couple different ways that we can look for these vendors. You can simply search in here by searching for Asteria Landscaping, and we'll see that goes ahead and pops up for us. You can also search, if you know the vendor ID, specifically by the vendor in the lookup field. And we'll start scrolling down. Looks like we were not able to get our due date just due to how the image itself printed it out for us. So we can go ahead and populate that. And then we see down here a field that is highlighted in red. This is indicating to us that our invoice routing category is required, and we see that we are unable to route to any queues due to this. We'll go ahead and select our lookup field, and we're going to send this to our finance team. Scrolling through, everything else is good. If you need to add GL lines, we also do that, have that capability here in the Yoga for FSM system. But for today's example, we are good to process this one over to N4. If we go over to our All Documents queue, we can search by our last record in the system. And we see that our record that we just processed lands in awaiting payment. What this means is we had a successful integration over to N4. So we'll go ahead and grab our invoice number and head over to N4 and make sure that all fields came over accordingly. We see our record here. If we add our context view over here, we'll see a mocked up image of our invoice over here, and page 2 contains our email HTML. And we see that our invoice was already submitted for approval in the system, and we'd be ready to go and process our next invoice.